They are not used to hearing the sound of gunshots on their street. Last night, they heard two. This is one of 15 plows that will hit the road once the snow starts. This is an example of a controlled burn out here in Tipton, Iowa. The Mississippi cresting for the third time already this year is moving into LeClaire Park. We're here in the warehouse of the Riverbend Food Bank, where that big number was just revealed moments ago. There are two officers stationed at the entrance of the Tri-City Jewish Center. We saw two squad cars patrolling the streets around us. This old rubber plant may not look like much right now, only the tower is still standing. But a year from now, we could see the beginnings of a new factory here in Rock Island. Neighbors tell me that their street, they are not used to hearing the sound of gunshots on their street. Last night, they heard two. And one longtime resident tells us the house, which has been a rental property for the past 30 years, has a history of police visits. Now, police say the disturbance led to a physical fight on the front porch of the home. Two windows were broken and a vehicle damaged. One man was cut from the broken window and treated on scene. No other injuries were reported. Officers got a search warrant and arrested 4 adult men in the home. 2 18-year-olds, a 21-year-old, and a 42-year-old, all in jail on drug-related offenses, including possession of a controlled substance, being marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and interference of official acts. Police do say no firearm was found. Now, I asked police about their past calls to this home. They gave me the information for last year, for 2018. They were out at this address in June for a damage call and out on this block twice in May and July for disturbance calls. I'm live here in Davenport. James Sears, Local 4 News. Tiffany, right now it is 12 degrees here at Earl Hansen in Rock Island, still well above the threshold for canceling school. That number is 30 below. You know, it takes a lot to get to that point, but one big factor to get the day off. The kids in the Rock Island Milan School District, they still had school today, even as other schools across the Quad Cities had delayed starts. Communications Director Holly Sparkman tells me they don't have to worry about transportation issues here in this district, as most students get dropped off or walk. Now, when it comes to a cold weather cancellation, though, officials defer to the National Weather Service.
If the National Weather Service puts out a winter weather warning for cold temperatures, yeah, we'll cancel school. And when it gets to the advisory stage, I think it's like 29 to 20 below, we're still determining what best to do as far as our families are concerned about how they get to school.
So as long as the streets are clear and people can get here, school will be open. Now, as for Wednesday, I asked her about those wind chills getting down to the negative 50s. They'll have a decision on that. Watch for it late tomorrow night. I'm live here in Rock Island. James Sears, Local 4 News. Rock Island County Sheriff Jerry Bustos confirmed that Jason Van Dyke is here in this building behind me, the Rock Island County Jail, 3 hours west of Chicago. Now, the decision to move Van Dyke here was made because of his high-profile case, not because of any safety concern or threat against him. That, according to the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Now, here's Jason Van Dyke's new mugshot after being transferred to the Quad Cities. He was convicted by a Cook County jury on Friday of second-degree murder and 16 counts of aggravated battery, one for each time he shot Laquan McDonald back in 2014. The case outraged the Chicago community once the dash cam footage showed contradictions in the story given by officers that night. The judge immediately revoked Van Dyke's bail after his conviction, and he has been in custody ever since. Van Dyke is due back in court on October 31st in Cook County. His sentencing date has not yet been set. Sheriff Bustos tells us he believes Van Dyke will remain here at Rock Island County Jail until sentencing. In Rock Island, James Sears, Local 4 News. That shooting between 3 cars ended with 1 man dead in front of City Hall in the middle of the day and right across the street from the Moline Police Department. This entire area around City Hall was blocked off all afternoon as police gathered evidence. We counted at least 9 shell casings.
Things like this usually don't happen outside the police department. Things like this usually don't happen in Moline.
A construction worker with the I-74 project tells us off camera the shooting between 3 cars started just off the interstate exit onto River Drive. He remembers hearing at least 3 gunshots and then 2 of the cars speeding down the street, the third stopping at City Hall where the 22-year-old man was shot and killed in his car.
His mom and dad have lost their son. I can't imagine what they're going through. It's tragic. It's another senseless violence of guns that these kids are turning to these days.
One of the bullets went right through the window at the Kone office building nearby. Luckily, no reports of anyone hurt inside. Local 4 News spoke with people who live and work in the downtown area, who say they're not too concerned for their safety, though what happened today is shocking.
Having kids and going out trick-or-treating tonight, and it's like, you know, I'm uncomfortable. Like, it's just broad daylight shooting.
Not knowing the exact circumstances as to what led up to said shooting, you know, it makes the mind go in a million different directions.
The victim's name is being withheld until family is notified. Police tell us they don't know what led to the shooting, but are asking the public for help finding those answers. In Moline, James Sears, Local 4 News.
When the car hit, it sounded like a tire blew, and it sounded like they got reared end. We didn't know it was people at first.
Holly Cunningham is one of many employees at the Quad City Inn who are shaken up after 2 pedestrians were hit by a car and killed last night at nearby Brady Street and Veterans Memorial Parkway.
It's not worth crossing 6 lanes of traffic. I mean, there's literally a light right there. It would be much easier and much safer if you just cross there. You know, I mean, it's less than a block from where you see a lot of these people crossing Brady.
The 2 men were trying to cross this dangerous 6-lane intersection when they were hit. Workers in the area say it's not the first time this has happened, and it'll keep happening unless people take safety more seriously. The manager of the Quad City Inn did not want to appear on camera. She tells us this incident hit too close to home.
Last month my dad hit the car so city has to do something because nighttime it's too dark over there, So city has to put some lights over there. That's I have to tell you, because this is a 5th one.
She and her employees are calling on the city to take action to make sure people are safe when crossing the street. But those we spoke with feel the problem won't ever be fixed.
You have to watch the lights down there on 59th, then you got to watch the lights up here on Veteran. And if they're both not red, you might as well kiss your butt goodbye.
In Davenport, James Sears, Local 4 News. Jamie Drovashevich of Kelowna has been bowling since she was 11 years old.
This is my life.
Jamie's been competing for Special Olympics as part of Illinois' delegation for about that long. She's won many trophies and even gold medals. We caught up with her and her mom at QC Family Entertainment in Moline. Do you have a strategy?
Focus behind second pin and trying it hard. Yeah.
She just naturally picked it up and just at a very young age became a very good bowler. And I don't understand how, but she just did it.
I'm good.
This is Jamie's first bowling ball. She got it 12 years ago from her brother-in-law, and it cemented her love of the sport. Shane Kern has been her coach for a couple years now. Jamie calls him one of her best friends. He even enrolls with her in tournaments. How do you get yourself ready?
Breathe and take 5 minutes and volleyball.
The 1 year at the State Olympics for Special Olympics, she bowled like a 165 and everybody around her was just like, she was pretty young then, and everybody was just hushed and watching her. And we walked out and you could hear people talking about her, and the one guy said, that little girl's like a professional. So it makes you really proud and cry.
In between competitions, Jamie hones her craft once a week in the winters in a women's bowling league, the John Deere Deers. She loves it, especially winning. So when you go to Seattle, you're going to come back with a gold medal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
A really good bowler out there too. Jamie leaves for Seattle tomorrow with her mom, and she's excited. The 2018 Special Olympics USA Games run Sunday through Saturday. In the studio, James Sears, Local 4 News.